I'm going to show you how to wall mount a TV. This is great if you've got little ones, they're not going to put their fingers all over the screen. It's also a space saver. We're going to need a few tools for the job. We're going to need a mounting bracket for the wall. Of course, we're going to need our television. We're going to need a drill, our measuring equipment and our level. We're going to need a stud finder and some shifters. We're also going to need some eye protection when drilling into the wall. It's important before mounting your TV onto the wall that you pick the right size bracket for the TV that you have. This one's got a bit of a tilt action, so it's really great to get rid of the glare coming through the windows. The first thing we're going to do is clear all our stuff out the way and then find our studs. This particular bracket comes with its own stud finder inside the box. We've already got our own though. This also shows electrical wires, so we're going to go with that one. Now that we've got our studs marked on the wall, we've got a little bit of play with our bracket because we're going to put it over the top of the power point just to conceal all the cords. The bracket comes with a level in the top so you can get it nice and level when you put it on the wall without having to take your hands away. The cutouts in the framework of your bracket have a little bit of play for your studs because they can be at different widths in your wall. Now that we've marked our studs and our positions for the holes, I'm going to put the first bolt in just to give me a point of reference before I drill the other 3 holes and put the rest in. Okay, now I've pre-drilled my hole. It's important just to pop your washer over your coach bolt before fixing it in. We'll put the bracket up and we'll screw the first one in. It's a lot easier when you're holding the bracket up and trying to get the bolts in if you grab a friend, so I'm going to get Andy. As you can see, we've left the bolt a little bit proud. That just gives us a bit of play when we're putting the other ones in. Once we've got all 4 in and we're happy with the level, we'll tighten them all off. Now that all of the 4 bolts are in, all we need to do is double check our level. That's spot on, so I'm just going to tighten the bolts now. It's important to choose the right fixings for the right type of wall. This wall here is plasterboard, so we need to make sure that we go into the stud because the TV has a fair bit of weight in it and the last thing you want is for it to fall off the wall. The TV bracket comes with assorted different bolts which will fit different brands of TVs. All you need to do is try each one until it fits and make sure when you're doing it that you find a little star washer, such as this, to go on there because the vibrations from your TV will eventually work the bolt out the back. So out of these there's 2 bolts that fit. However, you've got to be very careful to pick the right length bolt because you can go straight through the back of your TV screen and short out the circuits. Once you have your bolt, you just need to get the right size star washer and put it on. And then we'll find the other 3 bolts and we'll put the brackets on. At this stage, it's important to remember 2 things. The first being that the hooks need to be up the right way on your bracket so your TV doesn't hang upside down, and you can also adjust the height. This is the last time through the process that you'll be able to do that, so make sure you get it right. I'm pretty happy with the height there, so I'm going to put my bottom bolt in first and then I'm going to put the top one in. As you can see, I've left the bracket just underneath the top of the TV. If you don't do that, you'll see the bracket when you hang the TV. The 2 screws that are at the bottom of the bracket are to tighten it once you set your angle and it will hold the TV in the right position. They're done after you fix it onto the bracket. They're a little bit tight, so make sure you have a nice long screwdriver to get in behind your TV. At this point of the process, it's important to plug all of your cords in and into your power point because once it's hung on the wall, it's going to be very difficult to do. We're going to set our angle of the brackets before we put the TV onto the wall. To do this, all you do is move the bracket to the desired angle, tighten the nut on the side, and the job's done. I'm going to get my mate Andy to come back in and help me lift the TV up onto the wall. All that's left to do now is screw up the screws from underneath and that'll lock it into position. Then we'll give it a bit of a clean to get rid of the fingerprints. Now it's up on the wall, I can't wait to see what's on the box.